So you want to be positive in life and befriend your emotions even when things are going absolutely shit. That's why you clicked on this video, so I urge you to listen to the end. You're not going to change without effort. So I don't care if you have a low attention span, please focus on me. Let me start off by telling you guys a tale, because I used to always see the world as a negative space, because negative stuff kept happening to me or around me, and I always took it upon me. I took it very personal, whether it was financial distress, emotional distress, heartbreak. And you know, these are all very unpleasant emotions, as we know, and all of these things can add up and make life feel like a burden. You can feel like a target, like the universe is against you. You truly feel like there is no place for you to exist as a person, because the world around you is moving so rapidly, everything is out of your control. We usually think the mind and the world are these two very separated, disconnected things. We perceive the world as this big, unpredictable place that's always threatening our consciousness, our small, fragile minds, without ever really contemplating that the world actually just exists. It's not small, it's not big, it's not happy, sad, and even though there's many things happening on there, it's also not evil. It's actually our projection creating a subjective experience onto this world. So when you perceive an object or a person, you will naturally only perceive the part that interests you. The part that you choose to perceive and experience is actually just a fraction of the gigantic thing that's behind it. When you meet a person for the first time, you might have an impression about them, but the 1,000 other people that they have met in their life might have another impression. Of course, the reality that you project on this person, this object, or even in this case the world, is your reality, and that's the one that you're going to live in. So what I'm trying to get into is the first thing that we're going to talk about, aka what your mind focuses on is basically what becomes your world. I actually got inspired to make this video because of a book that I bought 5 years ago when I was in a very dark place. It's called The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down by Hae-Min Sunim. Oh my god, I feel so bad, I mispronounced his name. I love to read, but pronouncing stuff is not my biggest forte. This book is basically written by a Korean Buddhist, and he talks about different parts of life in every single chapter, but one quote that specifically really stood out to me, and I actually wrote it down here in my journal. Everyone appears as Buddha in the eyes of Buddha, and everyone appears as pigs in the eyes of a pig. I know it might sound like a little bit weird, like why did this quote appeal to you? Well, let me explain. It's kind of meaning that when your mind is joyful and compassionate, the world around you is too. And since I'm human, I have so many problems that I have pondered about late at night for hours and hours, wondering why are things like this? Why is this happening to me? How can I change this? How can I do that and this and that, and then keeping me just awake for hours and hours. And you know, I bet you have too, or else you wouldn't be here. But I'm gonna need you to slow down and think for a second. So when we have a frying pan and there's food stuck on the sides, do we immediately try to scratch it off with a fork, or do we fill it with water and let time do its thing? The same way you struggle to heal your wounds and traumas and immediately try to fix everything and put the blame on something. Why do we never give ourselves the same time that we give the frying pan to heal and let time do its thing? Because the truth is that we humans have this habit to always immediately look for a solution. We hate being out of control in our own lives. And you know, before I get into the things that I'm going to teach you, you need to realize the big hard truth, that changing your perspective is definitely not a one-day journey. It comes with setbacks. Sometimes you even forget that you're trying to change and you're going to fall into toxic old patterns and negative thoughts because you are simply human. But the first thing that you have been actually able to do that many others cannot is recognizing. Because recognition is genuinely the first step of changing any behavior. You clicked on this video because you noticed that you have a negative outlook on life and you want to change it. You might feel drained, you might feel depressed, but as soon as you acknowledge these feelings, you might still be feeling them, but you're not lost in them anymore. It means you're ready to befriend your emotions, hence why you ended up on this video. You're already mindful enough to notice the negative state of your own mind, and that's genuinely not something that many people can do. A lot of people spend their days in this infinite limbo inside of their brains until their last breath. But after the recognition, what can you do? Usually people's first reaction is to try and either grasp for control or for distraction, and especially in this day and age, it's so easy. Whenever you feel a negative emotion, you can just whip out your phone and look at cat videos on TikTok or whatever. What if instead of managing and trying to distract yourself from these emotions, you straight up stare them right in the face? Do you feel anger, jealousy, hatred? Stop trying to stigmatize or label these things and simply try to feel them. Start asking why and dive into the deep reasons why you're feeling these emotions instead of immediately brushing them off. Because distraction will only work until a certain point. Once you truly tap into your emotions, you write them down, you speak about them, you're going to realize that these things are not permanent. Every single emotion that you experience is something temporary. Just like how we are not permanently happy, we're only happy for certain amounts of times in certain moments, the same goes for negative emotions. Once you realize this, you stop trying to fight it and you just let it pass at its own pace. So in this case, if you clicked on this video, maybe you experienced your first heartbreak, or you simply feel so down, like maybe you got rejected by a job, or you're feeling insecure about yourself. Well, first of all, I know it's hard, but try not to react emotionally. Don't call yourself unlucky or say, why are always bad things happening to me? Because that no might open up a whole new world for you. Think like this: all the tiny no's and yeses throughout your whole life have led up to this moment of you existing and being in this time space. Maybe your great-great-great-grandfather rejected some girl and now you are here on this earth. But if you spend your whole time fighting all these rejections, you're going to miss all the opportunities passing on in your life. And the difference between you and a very happy and content person is that you're in a constant state of resisting, always trying to adjust, always trying to change something, but never truly being happy. While they are in a complete state of accepting what's going on around them, because you can always put the blame on others. Everything around you, you can drown yourself in the past, in the future. I know, for example, childhood trauma is not easy to heal from, and it definitely is going to affect you, but think of it like this: you can keep forever blaming everything that happened in the past, everything that's going to happen in the future. That means one thing: you are putting the problem on external factors, external people, external events that you cannot change. Let's make a scenario where you, for example, blame me. I am much harder to change, if not maybe even impossible to change. But once you actually start reflecting within and realize that you're the one creating your own reality, you're the person creating your own world by projecting everything, you can start to change yourself, and that's something that's so much easier than trying to change everything around you. Once you start to project your subjective view onto your world, you're going to see the change happening that you try to make in everything around you. Let's talk for a second about jealousy. So when you meet someone for the first time and you think they are perfect, the only reason that you might think somebody is perfect is because you do not know them well enough. It's your perception of them. You're only seeing the things that you're nitpicking about them. The same way when you criticize your life and everything around you, you're nitpicking only the negative things because it's easier than accepting the truth. Just like when you're subconsciously criticizing somebody out of jealousy, it sometimes says more about the things that you are insecure about than about the other person. Because all the negativity that you spread, no matter to whom, to yourself, to your friends, family, it will always be the loudest within yourself. Now, we know how to acknowledge negative emotions and kind of how to navigate around them, but how do we make peace with them and feel more positive? That's the big question mark, and that's where I felt stuck in for many years. Because look, right now, not everything is going smoothly in my life, but bad things happening and bad moments doesn't mean a bad life. Ask yourself, do I want to keep this resentment and these bad feelings in my heart forever and always live in this victim mindset? Because, you know, for example, in relationships, we always remember what we have done for the other person, and we rarely really hang on to the things that they have done for us, and it can always make us feel like we are so tired and always pouring out of our cup. That's because we humans are so self-centered and self-absorbed, and especially nowadays on social media, it's being promoted so much to have this self-centered mindset. And you know, it also kind of manifests into your life. We humans, we tend to hang on to all the negative things, clinging on to traumatic events while kind of ignoring the positive stuff. We always talk about achieving happiness, becoming happy, finally being happy after getting XYZ. But what if I told you it's not something that you can grasp or obtain? You can't suddenly be a happy person after you achieve a number on the scale, have a certain amount of money in your bank. Now, yes, getting rid of financial stress is amazing, but you get it, you cannot hang on to happiness by obtaining something. It's a fleeting emotion. And if you don't realize and accept that, you're going to forever be fighting negative emotions and rejection and trying to grasp onto happiness that's truly impossible to grasp. What you truly need to do is tap into your contemplative awareness. You may ask me, what is contemplative awareness truly? I also wrote that down, so I'm going to read it for you. Contemplative awareness, a state of profound, non-judgmental observation and receptive presence to the current moment, often used to foster self-knowledge, well-being, and a deeper connection to one's inner truth. It's actually an ancient practice dating back at least 4,000 years. It's kind of opposite or like contrasting of striving for external validation, impatience, your ego, or clutter. So by tapping into your contemplative awareness, you will see your thoughts, pain, strengths, emotions, and no longer feel tangled in them. When you're in a constant state of seeking external validation and always looking for excuses, you miss to acknowledge the fact that simply existing is literally such a miracle. You don't realize it, but every little event that happened over thousands of years have literally added up to you being here right in front of me. You can't even fathom the sheer amount of coincidences. And you're not appreciating how absurd this truly is. Every bad and good thing that happened in history has literally led up to you being here. You know, everyone lives their life like it's a burden, like they have everything in their palm under control. But you know, we will all not be here. We will not exist in 100 to 200 or 1000 years. What really helped me is just constantly reminding myself how short life actually is. So no matter your circumstances, try to project something positive on your own life. Not trying to be that person, but do you ever see videos of these children in war zones and they're still smiling and playing? It's because they choose their own reality. They project what they can in their own bad situation. So in this short lifetime that you have, try to leave a mark, try to leave some kindness. Feel everything deeply, no matter if it's good or bad. Use the negative stuff happening in your life as your unfair advantage. Even heartbreak and grieving honestly meant that you had something worth grieving for. You got to experience love. You can keep thinking, oh, life would have been better if I had this. I could do X project if I obtained this. Blah, 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 blah. But many of you guys don't realize that the creativity and gratitude comes from looking right in front of you what you have, working with the cards that life gave you. Even if they're shitty cards, you cannot give up. You gotta work with them. When you're playing Uno and you get a bad deck of cards, do you immediately give up? No, you don't. If you struggle to feel grateful, there's so many amazing resources out there, guys. Books, YouTube videos, even like science research papers about mindfulness. And if you're a person who truly wants to change how they think and how they feel, then nothing will stand in your way. You can make all the excuses that you want, but if you want to put in the change, you're going to do it. Because to appreciate existing and to appreciate life, you're going to have to accept that things are going to be out of your control. Being, existing, seeing the negative things about yourself and still accepting them. Because even negative emotions deep down are very innocent. And if you cannot change your thought patterns yet, try to speak them into existence. You know, I used to be such an impatient person. I still am sometimes. But now when I'm waiting in front of a red light, I just ask myself, like, what difference is it going to make if it lights green like 15 seconds earlier or later? It's not going to make any difference, so why would I make myself feel annoyed about this small thing? If somebody cuts in line, yes, it can be frustrating, but am I going to let this ruin my day? Keep repeating to yourself, bad day doesn't mean a bad life. Because literally, guys, your mind believes what you speak out loud. Speaking your reality into existence with affirmations is something I can make a whole 1 hour video on if you guys want. This video might not have been the immediate answer that you were hoping for, but I genuinely hope that it kind of helped. I have so many journaling prompts that you can use to kind of like learn to tap into your emotions. I will leave some of them down below in the caption, so if you want, grab a piece of paper, grab your journal and just start writing. Sometimes writing is the best way to get something out of ourselves. Don't think about it too much, like just start scribbling, don't worry about your handwriting, and learn how to tap into your own emotions to shape your own view. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed listening to me yap for like 30 minutes, I hope you'll leave a comment down below about something that you're grateful about today, and let me know what you would like to see next. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys later.